welcome to BMA 343 Digital and Social Media Marketing, week 11, where we will be dealing with mobile marketing. So we've got a few things to get through this week. First of all, we're going to do a quick introduction about what mobile marketing is. Then we look at mobile versus desktop and how they differ. We look at advertising to mobile users. And then third, we're going to look at marketing through mobile applications. And then last of all, we're going to close with the future of mobile marketing. So the learning objectives, the first two are very similar. First of all, is to identify key factors that differentiate mobile usage from desktop usage. And the second one, identify key factors that differentiate mobile users from desktop users. And I want to determine you to be able to determine the unique opportunities for targeting mobile users. So the iPhone was introduced in 2007 and it's considered the beginning of mobile internet. And originally, mobile internet was not very useful due to the variety of factors, such as we had very slow networks. Like the data that was traveling through the mobile phone network was only 3G. We had poor website designs that just weren't optimized for mobile, and low quality screens on these things, so it was hard to navigate and view everything. Now, during that time, mobile users very rarely made purchases, and mobile traffic was considered practically useless for digital marketers because consumers weren't actually buying products on their mobile phones, so they weren't, digital marketers weren't prepared to spend money to market to these consumers on mobile phones. So a mobile phone, so when we talk about mobile phones, we talk about a mobile device, which is a computer. So these things are technically computers, have central processing units and all that sort of stuff, got RAM. So it's like a computer, but it's small enough to operate within your hand. Now, technically, mobile devices include smartphones, tablets, laptops, smartwatches, and handheld gaming consoles. But when we talk about mobile marketing, we're mostly thinking about smartphones, like mobile phones. You can technically buy things on smartwatches and gaming consoles and stuff like that. And there are marketing opportunities in there. Laptops are probably a little bit too big, and they start bridging that divide between, desktop computer and mobile phone. So laptops sort of not quite the same thing. A lot of people use laptops as desktops anyway. So, and tablets, you get some small tablets and you get some big ones. So really, it depends on the type of product, whether it's going to work. But the concept of mobile is that they're in your hand and they're on users most of the time. So since mobile marketing has been introduced, or mobile internet has come along, it's developed a lot, and you think, well, that's obviously natural, but it's hard to understand exactly how much. So our website design has improved, and we've talked about this in the past about mobile first web design principles. So what we'll do is when we design a website, we design it with the idea of a mobile phone in mind first, and we expand it out to desktop, which shows you how far we've come, right? But also mobile data has increased. So it used to be in a 3G, it was average speed was 144 kilobits per second, which is very slow. And now it's about 300 megabits per second. So to give you a bit of an example, I've got this graphic here. So 500 megabytes, which isn't that much, when it first came out, would have taken over 5 minutes to download a single thing, right? Whereas today in 5G, it takes 1.6 seconds. So you can imagine the difference between waiting 5 minutes for your web page to upload, and it's just beyond, it's hard to explain, but during that time you try and use it and you just get so frustrated with it, like you just give up, right? You go to a website and it'll take too long to load, so you just quit. Whereas now 1.5 seconds or 1.6 seconds, it's so much faster. So mobile usage is much more valuable now, and mobile traffic is different to actually desktop traffic. We're going to look at why when we go through. Now, digital marketing requires an understanding of how these differences work and how that we as digital marketers need to manage them. So let's have a look at mobile versus desktop marketing, or mobile marketing versus desktop usage. So consumers behave differently when they're on their phone, their consumption patterns and behaviors on their phone compared to desktop. What we mean by desktop, I've got an image here of a desktop computer. They don't all look like this, but this is a gaming desktop computer, and basically they're the computers that either sit on top of your desk or underneath your desk, and you plug everything in. So they're not mobile at all, and they're designed to be at your desk and stay at your desk. Now, the differences between mobile, which obviously is designed to be in your pocket and you walk around with it, the differences generate opportunities for digital marketers to adjust their market offerings in several ways. So first of all, we'll look at mobile users are more impatient than desktop users. Mobile usage is snacking rather than feasting. We'll look at these in a bit more detail. Rich media is effective for both mobile and desktop now, and then location matters much more for mobile. So first of all, impatience. So impatience of mobile users affects many aspects of their consumption behavior, the way that they behave when buying things. So mobile users tend to focus on top search results more, and this is mainly a pragmatic thing. So it's just because it's more useful. So when you're searching on your mobile phone, you've got less screen. So when you've got a desktop, you've usually got a much bigger screen. So when you do a search, there's a lot more you can see. Whereas mobile phone users are sort of, got a tiny proportion of the screen compared to desktop. So you got less to work with. So you've got to focus on the top results more. Mobile users also prefer shorter and to the point answers to search questions. Now, the reason for that is often because when we're using our mobile phone, we're out and about, or we're easily interrupted by the people that we're with, right? Whereas when you're sitting at your desktop, usually you're sitting down, like I am now, and you're sort of committed to that place. Like, it's a lot more effort for me to get up and walk away now, so we're down there anyway. And when we're searching for things, we're prepared to invest more time or spend more time to search for those things and find them, because it's much easier operating a desktop computer when you got a keyboard and you got tabs and a mouse and everything like that, compared to a mobile phone where you've just sort of got your thumb. Now, desktop users tend to want more detailed information from the search results. So if you're going to do like a university assignment, you're not going to sit down and do it on your mobile phone, because it's just too much like hard work. Whereas you are much more likely to sit down behind your keyboard and your mouse with your big screens, and then go spend some time searching, getting information, and writing. So just the whole concept, the purpose of what people do, like the intention of what people do on these different devices varies so much. So that affects the way that we market to them. Just going to go back. Here's a research article here about how mobile internet is different, and the search costs and local activities, what people do with mobile phones. And the reason why I put that research in is I want to keep reminding you that what we're doing, we should be informed by the scientific literature. All right, so mobile phone usage is more like snacking rather than sitting down for a meal. Now, that might be a strange analogy, but if you're going to have, a big roast dinner, you all sit down, you prepare for it, and you commit yourself a long time to that. Whereas snacking, you're sort of eating on the go, and that's similar. What the analogy we're going to use for mobile phone users. So they'll take their phone out of their pocket many times a day. So it's like not just one big meal; it's like constant. And sometimes people use their phone for only a few seconds before putting it away. And you've probably noticed that you'll just out of habit, you'll pick it up, quickly flick through and go, oh no, hang on, I've got to be in the moment, I've got stuff to do, or I better put that away. So it's very intermittent. Now, desktop users log fewer sessions, so it means that they go on their computer less frequently, but those sessions are much longer compared to their mobile phone use. And then the temporarily, so the of mobile marketing is an important consideration for influencing customers. So the time and so the times of the day that they are using their mobile phones, and the length of time that they spend on their phones or their desktop, whichever one you're considering, you need to factor that into your marketing campaigns. Right, now, rich media. So it used to be a thing where we'd say, don't put rich media on mobile because the mobile phones just couldn't keep up with it. But now that's not so true anymore. And rich media works just as well as mobile phones as what it does on the desktop computers, with some exceptions, of course. Like, I've got a really good, I've got a fairly good mobile phone, and I've got a pretty good computer. My computer can handle much better media than my phone, because it's got a dedicated graphics card and stuff like that for processing that. But for most things, your mobile phone is going to be, more than suitable. So rich media in this case, so we're talking about what rich media is. It refers to content that includes both graphics, audio, visual, and interactive features, and it consumes a lot of data, right? A lot of bandwidth. So that's why we used to say that. Now, continual development of mobile phone technology makes rich media much more effective on mobile phones. Media richness theory. Now, this is a so I've got the journal article for that up here. So this theory is about matching the richness of a medium to the equivalency of the task. And what that means is if the medium, so if the messages and stuff that you're sharing, the ideas and the pictures and the words of what you're saying and stuff like that, if that's very rich, you need to be able to make sure that it can be consumed in a rich environment or a device, right? Whereas if you've got a lot of stuff to communicate, you need to think about the task that's going to be processing that media, that the communications that you're sending, and where that's going to be consumed as well. So the better you can match that, the better results you'll get. So digital marketers should consider rich media such as video for mobile audiences, obviously with some limitations, but much more than in the past. Right, now, location is exciting thing for mobile, of course, because mobile devices are designed to be used on the go. And mobile searches, such as if you're looking for a restaurant or you want food, like fast food or something like that, it's much more likely that consumers are going to want it immediately and they want it to be close to them. Whereas users that are searching on desktop are much more likely to be doing research for future purchasing. So it's like, we're going out with our friends next week, Friday night, where are we going to go? And then what restaurants are available, so look at the menus. So one's a bit more about forward planning and the other one's a lot more immediate, where you go, well, I'm on the go, I need it now. In that way, mobile search and web browsing often precursors to customer behavior, such as a store visit, which makes sense. If I'm going to, Google, is this thing at Bunnings? Obviously, I'm searching to see if it's at Bunnings because I've got an intention to do something with that knowledge, right? So if it is at Bunnings, then I'm much more likely to go to that store to get it. So in that way, when we analyze that data, we can go, well, the search behavior on mobile phones actually predicts retail behavior or face-to-face, like in-store behavior, much more directly than on desktop behavior, just because of the time lag as well. All right, so I'm going to pause it there and then we'll look at advertising to mobile users.